What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So after several days of exhaustive calibration on a professional level, I finally got an image that not only exceeds my expectations for OLED, but actually beats the Sony X900E in a pretty dramatic way in a lot of scenes. Now, in scenes like this, you're going to notice there is no more blue hue to the image. That took a lot of work, and I stress a lot of work. So this isn't something that a normal person will be able to appreciate out of the box. So again, if you're thinking that you could just run out, buy an OLED and have this same level of picture quality, not gonna happen. But what I will point out is this: you can't even do this at an ISF level, because if you go ahead and compare what I've done to the ISF standard, you're again not gonna come anywhere close to my results. Why is this? Because I take the D65 white approach to the next level by using my personal preferences and giving a vibrancy and pop to the image that's just not possible under those parameters. Now, if you don't like vibrancy or quote-unquote over-exaggerated color, as those who like dull images call them, then by all means, that's for you. But for me, I love a wow in my color and an image that knocks me back and makes me come back for more. That's why I buy TVs, not to feel like, you know, meh. So with that said, if you are excited for how I've done this, I have and I am right now using a custom profile suited for my living room and environment and space in my home. But I do have a method and a technique that, again, I've tested already, and it works flawlessly the same way my calibration would using a custom white balance. So that will help you guys out, and you're going to get a way better image than anything that's out there right now. If you're looking for vibrancy and pop on your OLED at an LED level, I can do that for you. One thing I can never do for you is get rid of the ABL. What we can do is mitigate it in some areas and get it almost as bright as the Sony X900E. That I can do for most scenes, but again, when you're running into those extremely bright scenes, there's no getting around ABL, so do keep that in mind. Now, with that said, how do I feel about the Sony X900E since I'm clearly enjoying OLED? Well, I still love it. I think the vibrancy behind the image is still absolutely spectacular. And the amount of, like, brightness, that's something that you have to see in person. Like, it's really enjoyable. It's very nice. And it breathes life into content that just otherwise would fall flat without it. Like, I know in a lot of my scenes on my OLED movies, I do wish that I had the pop behind it. So even with this better color and the black level enhancement, I mean, it's still missing out on the key thing: consecutive brightness, consistent brightness, and highlight detail across the board. Now in scenes like this, you're going to notice colors are better on OLED by a pretty decent margin, in that you are seeing way more of those shades of color like you are here. Trade-off is, as you notice, brightness. It's not as bright as the Sony at the bottom, so colors can appear to be a little more flat at times. And again, it goes back and forth. So for those looking for me to pick sides and go LED or OLED, I don't pick sides. I just kind of talk honestly about the technology. While we're talking honestly about the technology, I would be in the worst of graces not to mention that I know that there are people out there that have been on rtings.com and HDTV Test and hearing that the Sony, or not the Sony, but the LG C7 and B7 are almost identical, exactly the same. That's not true. They're charging more for the C7 because you're getting better gradations, better motion processing, and overall less banding, as you see here, where the banding on the B7 was a total joke and all over the place. It was like Rubber Band City. It was horrible. Like, these are things that you're going to notice from time to time. Also, my vertical banding on near black is nowhere near as terrible as it was on the B7. So these are things that you are losing out on. I mean, I've seen very little vertical banding on my near black. It's still there. It's not gone. But it's mitigated a bit, quite a bit, compared to what it was on the B7. And again, in scenes like this, I'm able to pull out more brightness than what was possible on the B7 because ABL is also not as aggressive as it was. So now scenes like this will never change, and this is what I'm talking about. The color white is just not a thing, right? It dims to 140 nits, as you clearly saw there, and when you're comparing apples to apples, when a scene's supposed to be white, and that was the director's intent, OLED will skew so far away from the director's intent that now you're in fairy tale land, and it's just something that it was never meant to be. And that's why I hate OLED's ABL feature. I think that, you know, whatever you want to call it, by the way, whether you want to call it automatic brightness limiter, you want to call it automatic backlight limiter, whatever, it's still dimming your brightness, so who the hell cares? So for me personally, I just really don't see a need for it when my OLED phone gets bright as hell and I can see it in direct sunlight, where my TV that costs this massive premium can't even, that bothers me. And I think in numerous scenes across numerous pieces of content, that's going to bother the majority of people picking up this television. Despite the world of difference you'll see in a professionally calibrated OLED, keep in mind, I'm a professional calibrator. Most people watching this video probably aren't. So you're going to have to pay somebody at least $400 to $500 minimally to do what I can do to this TV. That is not fun when you've already paid out, what, $2,000 if you're impatient and you want to get it day one, over $2,000, like more at the $24.99 mark, right? And then what then? Now you're paying out another $500. So wait, you got to pay out about $3,300, round up, about, up or down, give or take, before you can get an image quality that I have. That is a big premium, and at that level, it is never worth it. The OLED could never, ever be a viable purchase, ever, because it has also the normal defects like black crush on the entry-level models, which, by the way, has more black crush than the C7, and you're experiencing judder, you're experiencing the risk of permanent burn-in. There's a lot to worry about with this television. While calibrating, I've received image retention in the calibration menu. Yes, I can show you pictures of that as well, but the thing is, guys, whether you love it or hate it, there are some big problems with OLED that I think need to be addressed honestly that nobody's talking about. While, yeah, the picture overall, when it's all said and done, if you have a step-up model OLED, not that entry-level nonsense, you will get just day and night a better experience. It will be better. Like right now, the images I'm looking at, I'd be an idiot to tell you that the Sony X900E is looking better than my OLED. My OLED is looking better by far, and majority of the scenes, except the bright scenes. Now, there is a trade-off to how nice this looks. I found that the only way to get it to look this nice, you have to sacrifice the purity of the white. You have to basically get a really, really yellowish white, and there is no way around that if you want this level of pop and color overall. So, again, if you don't really like that warm white, then that's something, again, that you might want to go to LED for, where you can get the cooler, more vibrant white color. Because on OLED, it's probably not happening. So again, it's just about trying to give you guys a good idea of the limitations of both. Now, I'm not also, despite what anybody thinks, gonna sit here and tell you the Sony X900E is the king of all TVs, because no, it's not. Overall, it is the best performance. It is the most balanced TV I've ever used, with motion, processing, color, black levels. It is a phenomenal balance of everything. But again, you have your problems with this TV too. You can still see judder in certain kinds of movies and films and things like that, and 50 Hz content is a no-go for those in the UK. Also, to keep in mind, when you do step off at an angle, let's say you're in the kitchen or, whatever you'd need that off angle for, you are going to run into some serious problems. But I've got to say, across the board, you are still getting a really, really nice experience. No, you're not getting OLED depth, but you're also not dimming down to 140 nits, as you see here, when you see logos on the screen or when you have content that's just supposed to be white. So regardless of what it is, if it's supposed to be white, it won't look white on the OLED, and I think that is the biggest flaw with this. As I said in prior videos, even from the B7, OLED's biggest flaw is it lacks the color white. I stand by that 100%, and then factor in all the other stuff that I always talk about on this channel, and then it just becomes like a full circle. Like, this kind of sucks a little bit, and it took me a lot of work, and I kid you not, like, I picked this up from Best Buy on the 12th, all the way from the 12th to literally like maybe a couple days ago, literally like maybe 2 days ago, I just finally started really loving the experience. Not enjoying it, because I was enjoying it, but really loving the experience. It took me that long as far as being in the calibration phase and tweaking and really getting the perfect image for myself. And again, I'll be giving these settings out to every single OLED owner out there so that you can experience what I'm experiencing and hope that you get, the same result, because I can guarantee you nobody's doing this for you. Not Vincent, not Artings, they can't do it. The ISF certification doesn't extend past, their level of understanding of how things work. What I do is different. So again, if you don't like exaggerated color, as it's called, I won't be the guy to go to. You want the natural 50 color, it's dim, it's dull, you love it, it looks like a window to you, as though your window looks that dull and dim. By all means, I'm not your guy. But if you want the guy that's going to give you these kick-ass colors that would give you basically the experience of an LED and then also teach you how to mitigate your ABL a little bit and manipulate it in certain scenes to get brightness that rivals the Sony X900E and even surpasses it in scenes like what you just saw, that is something I can do. Now, that being said, I love both TVs, so again, if you're looking for me to lie about one or the other or to justify a purchase, that's just not what I do here. And again, there are some serious drawbacks to OLED, as I've mentioned, and there are some serious drawbacks to the 900E, but overall, if you're on a budget and, you know, you're really like looking at, you know, maybe even the $1,500 to $2,000 threshold, if that's your budget, then, you know, you might want to consider those things that I talked about, because no matter how much money you have to spend, whether it's $500, $600, doesn't matter, you still have to look at the pros and cons of the product, and there are a lot of cons with this product. So for those looking for the brand new C8, that again will be a very similar panel to this year. LG has already confirmed that they've made almost no adjustments to the actual product itself. So again, that's something you as the consumer will have to wrestle with. You know, along with ABL still being a thing there. Now, obviously, the newer models are supposedly brighter this year, and ABL is less apparent, but it's still there, so I really doubt that when it's dimming down to the 100 nit threshold that you're even going to notice that there's even slightly an improvement in brightness. But that being said, an improvement is an improvement, and we can always take what we can get. But that being said, I mean, I'm going to give you guys what I can. I'm going to show you guys what I can. And as always, my name's Quantum Apotheosis, bringing you the apotheosis of information. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and being part of the channel today. I really hope this video helps clear up the misconception between LED and OLED. OLED is not better than LED. LED is going to give you more benefits than OLED overall, but at the end of the day, it does take more money on OLED to maintain, keep up, calibrate, get it where you want it to be. And again, that's not something that's really easy to do. I'm going to help offset a lot of that cost for you in my next video, where I give you guys awesome kick-ass settings. Use them if you'd like, but hey, you know, I'm just here as a resource for everybody. My 900E guys, don't worry. You know, we still got our awesome content coming as well. It's just, you know, right now I've got to get on my OLED content, so don't feel left out. That being said, until next time, I'll see you guys later.